Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by Psycho Sid from Vulcan. Sid, tell us a little about this Vulcan team we're seeing now.
Oh, I don't know what you want to ask. I mean, we started the season pretty poorly, and we're happy after the hot streak we've been going, and we just hope it keeps growing.
Where did the change come from? For a lot of the teams, they looked for roster changes and, kind of a little bit of blame in the first losses. You guys, you were just like, let's buckle down and make it happen with the 5 we have now.
Yeah, I mean, after the loss, it was discouraging, but like we didn't beat ourselves up after it. We just watched the replays, figured out what we did wrong. We like the 5-man team that we have right now. We just needed to practice and just buckle down.
Right on.
I think you're going to have a fun time watching the replays from this game because the last fight especially just went so perfectly for you guys. Every move you made, I was like, was he planning that out? Like, especially the end when the last tower shot was going to come shoot you and it hit your baby spider. What were you thinking?
I didn't even think it was going to tank the tower for me. I'm lucky it did, man. I would have got 2 deaths instead of 1.
He rolled out and he was like, swag.
Yeah. I mean, my KDA is the lowest on the team right now. Hopefully it just keeps raising.
So did you guys go with the Elise pick against the Renekton because of Megazeo's health stack?
It's partially that, and also Lux and Elise was a comp that we've been comfortable with.
Cool.
It's just like catch after catch, and it's a lot of damage.
Well, yeah, you seem to throw out some good cocoons this game.
Thank you. Yeah.
It definitely was catch after catch. You guys executed that perfectly. Now after 3 wins, I'm sure you guys are going to do something to celebrate. Do you have any plans?
We were trying to get a ping pong table.
Nice.
Oh.
I'd say for the third team, the third week to go 3-0, a ping pong table is a superb purchase.
Yeah.
So coming into that game, you obviously feel very comfortable on Elise. Did you know you were in just like the spotlight after you started making those cocoons?
I didn't know I was in the spotlight, but now that you say that, thank you. It means a lot. But yeah, Elise, I'm really comfortable with the champion. I've been playing that on and off again. So for the teams watching, you better ban that thing or else it's going to bite you.
Yeah, you want to draw those bans. Okay, so the first time you guys went to go contest the Dragon, you thought he had it great. They were all in there, and you had Hecarim dive in. He had a great ultimate, but you guys lost it. The second time, it went beautifully. What was the big difference right there?
Positioning. Also, the decision-making on the first one was kind of poor because, well, our Hecarim didn't have Smite, but we still seemed to go for it, and then that just went poorly. But the second one was their whole team was just lining up on the left side of the Dragon Pit, and then Lux caught someone, and then that's how the fight unfolded.
Right on. So coming into this one, you guys obviously listened to Megazero say he doesn't like 2v1 lanes, but you still hit him.
Yeah. Well, we're just using enemy's weakness to our advantage.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with 2 vs 1 too, so it worked out.
Cool.
So we've all heard Zuna's yelling. How was his communication like before you got during laning phase when he was up against Urgot and Taric? Was there anything he was laying? Were they worried that they were going to get dove? Was it?
Well, the only times he yells like when he gets hyped, and when he gets hyped, it's usually in a team fight.
Yeah.
So like laning, it's just standard like room. What is it called? Was it room something speaking voice? I forgot.
Inside voice.
Inside voice is my bad. I suck. I suck. Yeah.
That timid Zuna that we hear when he's just regularly
He's
talking.
calm and collected in laning phase. But once
he's like the Hulk, man.
Okay, there we go.
So what was overall just a lot of comfort picks for you guys? You had Xmithy again on Hecarim. Were you surprised you got that?
Kinda. I mean, we expected the Nidalee ban, the Singe ban, and then we were just surprised they banned kayle because we know that Echo plays a lot of kayle. We were even planning to ban it from them, and it gave us a free ban.
Fair enough.
Would you ever consider taking a kayle if it was open?
Yeah, I mean, kayle's pretty broken right now.
Yeah,
so
that's a good answer. Scar would be happy.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations on being the team to go 3-0 this week in the LCS, and congratulations on 3 straight wins coming back from stopping that bleeding. And good luck in the rest of the LCS as well. All right, guys, it's time for our final match of the day. Good game, University versus Complexity. Of course, both of these teams started the day with losses, but one will walk away with a win after this match.
Traditionally, we have Lattimore and Nintendude being the focal points for these teams, but they've had some rough starts. I mean, GGU had a slow loss, and it really didn't work with Nintendude. I mean, it definitely wasn't their game plan, and you could totally tell. Meanwhile, Loudamortis, I mean, he's had a rough start. His KDA kind of hurting. But to be fair, he's been trying to bail out these losing lanes most of the time. And that's always an uphill battle, especially being in jungle myself. I can relate.
And Good Game University still kind of seeing troubles in a lineup, but they keep saying that they're, hopeful of what they have.
Yeah. I mean, they practice with Shifter the whole week. I kind of feel bad for them. They weren't expecting this either. They didn't know until Wednesday that he wasn't going to be able to get here.
Yep.
And so all of their practicing kind of went out the window. They went back to using the sub. So I definitely feel for them, but they still have a good chance. They're a resilient bunch. And I believe.
Right on, guys. Now let's take a look at how a roster change can affect not only your team, but your opponents as well.
Complexity, I think that they're one of our bigger issues early game. We're a very good early game team, and I think they can compete with that. Loudamortis is definitely a problem from the jungle.
GGU has had a lot of roster changes recently. They're also a younger team.
They switched from I Am Anjo to Bloodwater, and he's also kind of dubbed Godwater, so he's amazing apparently. He's going to be their new shot caller.
I don't think they have that great coordination or aggressive coordination that we have.
We're going to have to ward early. We're going to have to be very cognizant of everyone on the map, and we're hoping that we can just rely on our endgame team fighting to beat them.
All right, so let's check out the lineups on the blue side. It's going to be Good Game University. Fat in the top lane, Nintendudex in the jungle, Zion Spartan in mid lane, Don't Mash Me on AD, and Bloodwater coming in on support.
And playing on red, we have Complexity. Nick Wu in the top, Loudamortis as the jungler, Chuper mid, Brunch Wu on AD, and MIA supporting.
I like what you did there, Brunch Wu. That was cute.
Yeah.
So coming into this game, again, losses for these guys, but one will walk away with a win. Can it be Complexities?
It can be Complexities.
Yeah. I like
It
that
could also not be
answer.
Complexities.
Wow.
You
taking
heard
everything.
right there, though, the respect between these two junglers. Like I said, it's the focal points for both these teams, but they both know each other are very early game junglers, and they respect the style. It's like two gladiators, and they're like, yes, you know the truth also. We got to get some kills early. So they both have a similar game plan.
I don't know who I should give it to this time. I was going to say Loudamortis has been having a rough games and not having impact plays, but then I say that and he's going to start getting pentakills or something.
Yeah.
So
Same thing with Sid. I don't want to get
exactly
Sid again.
So we'll have to see what these guys get in as they are kind of loading up into the game, getting themselves ready, discussing what's happening. Our final match of the day. They've had games to watch, more homework to be done, and see what the teams have done after the day break. So we'll see if they take that into consideration.
And this matchup is kind of opposite of the last one, where both the teams were coming in with wins and they were super hyped up, and they really wanted to get another one. Both of these teams, they need to not fall into that pitfall of getting bogged down with your losses, getting disheartened. They just need to rally around, have faith, and stick to the game plan.
Both Complexity and Good Game University have the solid first 10, 15 minutes. It's usually not something you see waver for one of those teams. And we've seen, I believe it was Complexity going, they got that very early turret. I know Martin just got a 4-minute turret, so not that early, but they do go for the early turrets, the early dragons, but they didn't do that today. They kind of staved that extra pressure they put on in the other games.
Yeah, I mean, GGU's win came from when they used a poke comp. So they may return to that strategy since nothing else seems to be. The Leona jungle, they tried that. That didn't really work. Fizz, that didn't really work either. Maybe return back to what actually got them the win in the first place.
The Fizz did draw a ban, so it makes me think that, they
that
know Zion Spartan had kind of an off game and he can still play a ridiculous Fizz.
They have respect for him.
It'll be super interesting if he gets one again. Obviously expecting to see the Nidalee ban, probably a coL ban, maybe either Sheena or Shinzao or Jarvan. Definitely, because they've been either one going out. Last game we saw both, which allowed us to see,
And then surprise, surprise, Vi is picked.
Exactly.
Oh, North America, so predictable. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be that early game. We saw GGU. Their game was definitely not an early game because it felt like that first instance when level 2 Nintendude ran into the other jungler and they were like, oh, okay, I changed my mind. I'm not going to come fight with you guys anymore.
So we see these guys poised, ready to play. Nintendude talking with his team. We have, I believe that was Fat on the outside. You have MIA in front of us here. Looks like we're getting a mouse back and forth. MIA just testing him out. He's like, I don't like this one. It's too hard. Oh, this one's too warm.
Too hard.
I don't know if that's actually his
British.
accent. Yeah, I guess I just totally gave him a British accent. But you can see he's getting himself locked in. Seems like he is enjoying the peripheral he has now. They do have those choices.
He's
Make
such
sure
a
they got it.
jovial guy.
He does,
too.
yeah.
He's always in a really good mood. I mean, you can even tell from the name that he took. His team came up with that name, and he was like, yeah, that's a good name. Nice pun, guys.
So it looks like we have just a few more minutes before we jump into this one, Kobe. Our last matchup here of Week 3, and definitely an explosive week from what everybody thought was kind of going to be not a lackluster week, but more quiet than the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was definitely looking forward to that CLG Dignitas game.
Right.
And then, some of the other ones, nobody expected Vulcan to be the one coming out, blowing everyone out of the water, 3-0. I mean, I did say it on day one, but I was kind of laughing. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts.
Well, almost into this one, we see the matchup, Nick Wu and Fat in the top lane. Now, Nick Wu having a bit more experience with his team. We've seen Fat able to be on the win for the team for the first win that they received as GGU. So he can still go in that one. We'll see if they decide to swap. I think that we said Nick Wu enjoys going against 1v1 lanes. I remember seeing a Complexity interview. He said, I see this a lot like I would look at a 1v1 fight in a fighting game scenario.
Yeah.
Certain things can happen at certain times to punish the champion you're playing against or to get inside and make something happen in your favor. And he really plays those cooldowns like you would in a fighting game and the frames that you use to attack. So he takes it in a little different mentality. It's cool to see how players, engage in the game like that.
Yeah, he definitely does look at it that way. And he also has some interesting champ picks for top that not a lot of other people specialize in.
That's true.
Zed is one of his favorite top, and they actually banned it against him. Nobody else picking up Zed for top in North America. It's good. It's good in Korea also. They banned it a whole bunch in the solo queue over there, but not so much over here. The other one, Jace top. He loves that. He loves that guy so much, and he knows a lot of the matchups really well. Like he said, the fighting game mentality. He just uses a few champions, but learns every single matchup really well.
Right. And why don't we see Jace top that much anymore? It was Soaz back at the European regionals, and then a little bit after, as everybody was like, wow, Soaz brought this guy into competitive play, and now it's, we'll use him in mid if the chance is there.
It has a lot to do with the nerfing of the melee abilities on him. His ability to brawl in that top lane was kind of nerfed.
Okay.
He still has great poke, and so he's nice in the middle. But yeah, the top lane, they've shied away from it a little bit. Nick Wu hasn't given up, though. He still believes.
He still goes for it. I think he has the Xerath under his belt as well, or something, the weird pick. I know there's
Just some
one
random
unorthodox one that he's like, yeah, it works. It can happen.
A Xerath top, huh?
I don't know.
That would be
It's something. It was
interesting.
one of the tweets, man.
I would like to
It was one
see
of the
that.
tweets.
Of course, I've already been trolled way too many times. Can't call those kinds of things. So.
Just get excited about it. They'll switch. Don't worry. So still waiting for, we have MIA, that's who it was, getting his mouse
Yeah, he's
all
looking for a
fixed
mouse,
up as we
but-
get in here. If you're just joining us, the third match of the day, you've missed some amazing stuff. Vulcan going 3-0 on the week. They get to rest now. Curse stayed undefeated. They actually went home yesterday because of only having that one match this week. They flew out early, went back, and were like, we just need to pass out. So those guys still doing well for themselves, and a lot of teams finding ground this week.
Especially with Vulcan exploding onto the scene. I really want to take a look at the trash talk threads. Like next week, if they take the first game off of Curse, that would be amazing to see. I'm sure the puns are going to be nice in that trash talk, especially the ones targeted at CLG after their performance this week.
Yeah,
it's so interesting to see. The mentality of the fans for esports are so used to these tournaments that are spread out really far apart by like a couple months.
Right.
So they see a team perform badly in a tournament, and you're like, okay, you played all these other teams, and now we have a couple months to talk about you guys. But in the LCS, this is a season. So it's only a couple games each week, and you really have to wait for the stories to unfold before you make these snap judgments. Everybody's making these judgments off of a couple games lost, and they're like, oh, well, this team's trash. this is a season, so you really have to wait for those to unfold.
Yeah, a new team name coming in as well, Chuper's Dancers.
There we go.
As we see Chuper dancing around his screen, they're waiting in. We do have MIA into the lobby as he is all set up and enjoying what he's using, and right into the champion select as you guys were waiting.
Will they ban Leona Jungle?
Oh my lord, it'll definitely draw one. No, Zed Nidalee coming out. He said both of those guys. They
And
sit on the
Jace,
bench
there we
this
go,
game.
all three.
So what will they decide to continue to go with here? That's a 1-2-3 ban. It's going to be up now to
That's the
Nick Wu.
drawback of using that style. I mean, I really like that style of having a condensed champion pool that you concentrate on and learn all the matchups.
Right.
But it opens you up to being banned out like this.
fast
And
bans.
look, again, a Fizz ban. Even though he didn't perform that well in the LCS, they know he's really strong on that champion. They don't want to give it to him.
So Fizz, Twisted Fate, and coL, the last 3 bans coming in. We said we'd probably see the coL and the Nidalee, the Zed and the Jace, and the Fizz. Kind of not a surprise on the Fizz, but the other ones. That Zed getting out.
And since
Nick Wu.
Zion's in that unfamiliar role of the mid lane,
Yeah.
it's easy to ban him out as well. So it's too bad. But everybody knows that Twisted Fate is one of those mid laners that he does play. He doesn't play too many of them besides his top lane champions. But that's a really good ban against him. They did their research. That's one of his favorites for mid.
There you go.
The Leona Jungle.
There you go.
They didn't ban it out.
They don't
Here
have
it comes.
yeah. Well, they do have Jhin. So
You know
Jhin
what?
Zhao, so yeah.
This could be a nah, it's not gonna be a troll. he'll jungle it. It could be a support, I was gonna say, but nah.
So Trooper throwing down the Vi. So we don't see a Jarvan at all this game. Quite interesting.
Not
even
yet.
banned out. Oh my gosh! Yeah.
You always gotta leave.
You know
you
what?
always gotta leave that
There are
window
4
open.
spots open. You are completely correct. You
We've
are
seen
so
the
right.
Suche Vi mid could even be on that side.
Oh,
Heck,
man.
Hotshot jungled a Tarek in our Riot versus
Don't
Pros
remind
game.
me of that.
I remember
I
that
think I
at
had like
DreamHack.
14 CS, and the only kill I was about to get, somebody killed him before my arrow passed through. And
It was pretty epic jungle
God.
Tarek, I have to say. He stole Baron.
we
so-
never should have gave you guys 5 supports.
No, that was a misstep.
Looks like
but
they pick up the 80 carry on that last one. Oh my, what? Whoa.
Interesting.
Awesome.
All the intrigue.
I
So we
love
have
this.
Lee Sin. A lot of people have been down on Lee Sin since those last nerfs. I mean, even Diamond Prox, who everyone looks up to as the god of Lee Sin, has said that he's probably not going to play him much until
Yeah.
he gets another tweak.
Well, we even saw Chouster on him and then switched to Mundo.
Yeah, I mean, after
felt it.
They failed with him, so they were like, oh, we got to change something up. But yeah, I mean, even Diamond Prox kind of didn't really feel him
Yeah.
anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how GGU can make use of this, because we have a lot of people here that could be. See, it's not going to be a jungle Leona. I really want it to be,
Right.
but we could be like, oh, it's going to be a support Lee Sin, because we actually have seen that a lot in high elo play in North America. It's just people getting bored in their support roles, but this is probably not going to be that.
And a Malphite coming in. So we do have the Tarek and the Ezreal versus a possible Twitch and Leona, because it wouldn't really go anywhere else.
Possible.
Yeah, we say that now. Indeed. They have a minute here as they swap around. I was thinking that could be a Lee Sin in the middle. And yeah, Fat. It looks like Fat for the first time. I believe we're going to see him on Cho'Gath.
Okay, so I like that pick because Cho'Gath, he has great sustain, he has great wave clear. Even if they do a 2-versus-1 switch, he doesn't have that much experience with. Cho'Gath is really good against a 2-versus-1, and even back in the days before 2-versus-1 was super popular, Hotshot was always a big fan of taking teleport on Cho'Gath and forcing 2-versus-1s before it was popular in North America.
Kind of run around and just stack all the armor and let his team do Baron while he gets chased by the entire team. Just that split shot GG.
Those chase the Hotshot days, never forget.
So it looks like we are going to get back into this one quite quickly. We saw the compositions, these guys to come into this game. Like we said, one of them is grabbing a win as they come out of this. GGU has been able to find one with Fat on the roster, but it is going to be for Complexity's first chance here.
Yeah, and I like that they switched over the Leona to support, because now the other teams aren't going to be like, oh, okay, it's obviously a jungle Leona. That's never obvious, but yeah, it's obviously going to be a jungle Leona.
There it is. They're
You know,
picking it.
They're going to keep that factor of guessing. So it's a good job. They're going to mix things up, at least keep you on your toes. And this pick that they have is like a whole bunch of brawlers plus Twitch. So it'll be interesting to see how they can peel for Twitch with this. They have some good knockups and some nice kickbacks with Lee Sin. So it'll be very interesting.
And also, you pointed out them just noticing that they can ban out Zion Spartan. that really is a crutch that hits GGU quite hard. Their team is kind of being thrown around right now. Shifter, like we said, not in this week once again. They're going to have to use Fat, but Zion Spartan's still feeling in the interviews like the team is, coming to fruition. They're growing into their own. Fat is still an all right, piece to the puzzle right now, and they can still do what they need. Let's see if they can find another win, though.
I was thinking maybe he would pull out his coL mid or something, because those are like these champions. He's so good on these champions that are top lane.
Right.
They can also be run mid lane. But yeah, the Twisted Fate is really his go-to mid laner, and they obviously banned that one out.
Not going to get it. Not getting the Nidalee, the Fizz. They a lot was targeted there for him, unfortunately. And the junglers coming in were Vi and both Xin Zhao. We've seen them all day coming in.
Yeah.
So we could see a bit of aggression. We did see last time Vi going for the red in our last game, and then the blue. There was a lot of blue control in that game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because these are kind of considered two of the OP jungles, or the very popular junglers right now, because they have so much mobility, they have great ganking potential, and they're really bruiser oriented.
That's what you want right now, dude.
Yeah.
Armor's cheap.
Yep.
Build up that armor, stack on that health, and you really can't do much. We saw Psycho Sid kind of taken into consideration with Elise last game, and he wreaked havoc in those fights. So there is a counter to it, to the health stacking. Go back to percentages.
And I think that both junglers are probably going to prioritize those AoE defensive items, the ones with the auras, like the Locket, where you can activate a shield, or the Aegis of the Legion, where it just gives the armor and max resist to everybody.
Maybe. There's been a lack of Aegis this week.
Yeah, that was really interesting to see that.
Super lack of Aegis.
I mean, usually
it's all about the locket.
People combo both of those items instead of stacking lockets, but we'll have to see. Against a really bruisery comp like GGU did, it would be nice to have definitely a locket. I'm pretty sure they're going to rush that one, because it's a lot of bruiser champs.
Everybody quite antsy right now. We see Mash Me with his headphones off on the end, and they're just kind of sorting things out. Looks like he's actually getting logged back in, grabbing his information there. Mash Me's like, what are you doing, dude?
That ring is so shiny.
He's blinging.
It's definitely not coming out of like a cereal box or something. That is a full-on. What kind of gem
You're right.
is
That's
that?
not cereal.
That's a diamond. We'll
Super
call it a
Cracker
diamond.
Jack box.
Yeah. It could be what was it? Cookie Monster belt he had on? Is there a Cookie Monster cereal?
Oh no, there's Cookie Crisps, but that's
Close
not happening.
enough.
We're just giving out free advertisement now.
Oh, we shouldn't do that.
So we do have them setting up. Zion Spartan, he's just like ready. You can see him. He was playing with his hands a little bit before. There's Bloodwater doing the same thing. It's not cold in here so much. They do have the hand warmers, but that's just because your fingers, when the blood circulation isn't there, even on the hottest day, you're like, why are my hands just freezing?
It's kind of like what Cop said. He was like, I'm not nervous. I'm just trying to stay hyped.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
When you have delays like this, you have to stay hyped up. And you have to stay in the game. And we're finally back into the picks and bans. All the bans coming out
kind of like
there
an
really
unexpected
quick.
timeout when you're not ready for it.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
I'm ready with the heat. Nah, cool down. So we see these coming back in. That Shen coming in. So we didn't talk too much about the global presence that Nick Wu is going to bring to this matchup. But it's going to be very helpful. I don't think we saw a teleport going onto Fat's Cho'Gath, but we'll have to see here as they swap back in.
Yeah, he loves those ninjas. Shen is his backup ninja if Zed is banned. His second choice, and he does a pretty good job with that one. It really depends on how strong he can get early. If he gets to that point where he can handle people solo, then Shen adds so much to the game. But if they camp Shen and get him behind, that he's weak enough that he's not able to solo, then you can't even add that global presence, and it's a detriment to your team.
And we see these guys faced off against each other. The swap around, Fat will not be taking teleport, but neither is Nick Wu, even though he has Stand United. Usually we've just been seeing a lot of the tops teleport all day long.
Mm-hmm. So I talked so much about the bruisers on GGU,
Yeah, sure.
but two of the best divers in the game on complexity. Both of them can get to Twitch pretty easily. Malphite and Vi just use their ultimates. If they chain those perfectly, that amount of CC is enough to kill a Twitch. He's got Cleanse, but that will not save you from knockups.
Yeah.
Vi's ultimate is actually a knockup with a tiny mini stun when she comes back down. And then Malphite's is also a knockup. Can't get out of that with Tenacity or Cleanse. He's just going to have to flash the unstoppable force as his only hope.
As I look at that team, it's just a scary amount of lockdown as you were just describing it. Nobody's getting away, and like that Cleanse, like you said, the Cleanse isn't going to be as effective because they can stack it so hard. Coming into our final game of the day here, we're going to have these two guys looking for a win. Could be Complexity's first, Good Game University looking for a second win to come out here. Still with Fat on the team. Let's see if they can produce that.
The name of the game is going to be Catch That Rat, because really, that's the main DPS source on the team. They can ignore all these bruisers, dive onto Don't Mash Me. As soon as they get him killed, they'll feel fine. They've got the Shen ultimate, and Ezreal is such a mobile AD carry that they should be okay just focusing and just tunnel visioning even on Don't Mash Me.
The teams facing each other as they're about to match off on Summoner's Rift. We are into the Rift now, our 4th game of the day here in Week 3. Hopefully ended off with a good one. GGU looking for a win versus Complexity, who is also looking for a win, but they're first.
Yep. I mean, the only thing, I'm trying to think of ways for Don't Mash Me to be okay. And now I'm like, okay, so Xin can knock back, and also Lee Sin can kick people back. They have to time those perfectly, though, to be able to defend him. This is going to be a fun game to watch because the fights are going to be all out.
Looks like they're pressuring a little for the top side here to get that Wraith ward in. And they've actually warded their own red already, Kobe. So it looks like they are anticipating that, and they're going to put themselves in an advantageous position here for a kill, waiting off in the fog.
I like how Don't Mash Me paces back and forth, too.
Oh, he's charging. He's charging.
Here comes. It's going to be blank. Oh, they don't go in too quick. There's Tarek.
Oh, will he be able to get it? Mash Me goes down. He's stunned. They can still hear it hitting. They taunt through him. He has to cleanse and flash, and the bottom lane just became so scary for GGU.
That's too important, very, very important summoners.
Just kinda.
Just a little bit, yeah, just a little bit. I mean, he still has invisibility, so they're going to have to do a really good job warding for him. If they get early vision and another stun catches Bloodwater.
So his support now is even flashed out. That is ridiculous for the bottom lane. They have a defensive summoner spell to start the game.
To say that we are expecting ganks bottom lane now is kind of obvious, but yeah, both of them having their flashes down means that they are going to have to ward like crazy and just keep their eyes peeled on the mini-map because any threat will be able to take them out. They have no defensive summoners left.
I like what they did, and I see why they're doing it, but it would be really cool in this fact that they're swapping the lanes. It makes it easier now for Nick Wu to just go against that. He knows he's super safe, but why don't they super pressure it with just the AD carrying the support already?
Okay, so Shen is actually really good at setting up lane ganks even. So even if they do ward really well for this bottom lane, Shen can get off a good taunt, and Vi can Vault Breaker right over there. So they have to be pretty careful.
All right, we'll have to see. By that 3 minutes, the flashes will be close to coming back up. So we'll have to see how quickly Loudamortis makes his way down there. A good matchup here. Zion Spartan taking a good amount of health off of Trooper in mid. Trooper's not running the flask. He actually went with both health and mana potions. And with Loudamortis trying to activate those early ganks, Bloodwater goes for a deep ward to prevent any of that.
Yeah, I mean, they do get seen out there. Lee Sin was really popular mid lane. He's going for those counter jungling on the... Are they going to get him?
Yeah, this is what Xin does perfectly. He sees him there. The dash, and look at the burst damage coming in from each Talon strike. Zion Spartan goes in for first blood. A beautiful resonating strike.
I was just going to say, Lee Sin was super popularized by Froggen, who always hits his Qs when you really need to. And right there, Zion, perfect first blood. They are also rewarded with a blue steal.
If you look back at each game this week that Complexity has had, every game is giving Loudamortis, every team I should say, Loudamortis, such a hard time finding him in his own jungle.
Yeah, how many times did we say early aggression from these junglers is going to be key? And there it is, you can see jungler on jungler action. Now Nick Wu has to run away, they ignite him.
Oh, going in for the dash. There's Loudamortis to stop this one as the cooldown on death not that high. They have wasted some summoners there, but look at this. GGU like Team Solo mid in week 2, just behind the turret very early.
Yeah, great job there. And they are pressuring this turret. They want to get it down as quickly as possible, get that global gold, because look at the top lane. They're also pressuring it extremely hard. Fat's having a hard time up there.
It looks like Trooper getting caught out once again in middle. He may have the mana to shard out of this one. And it looks like they destroy the bottom turret. Another 4-minute turret coming in for LCS week 3.
Yep, so that top one's going to get hurt a lot too, and they actually get tower aggro, so Fat's going to be able to defend it for another wave.
He's so low on mana though. Can he afford another rupture? They are close to doing this. Very TSM Plus-esque play by both teams here, just in the fact of pressure on these turrets, but they won't really activate too much off of it. A good dodge there. Brunchu playing careful, wasting the ignite from Fat there, but Zion Spartan coming in. Oh, he hits the Q again! Oh my gosh, the second kill coming in for Zion Spartan. Will he decide to go in? They are going to get a third kill out of this. There's the flash on the attack, and GGU is on a very good start.
Zion threading the needle right there. 2 sniper shots. Loudermortis charging up the vault breaker, but he does not want a piece of Nintendo because he has teammates and Loudermortis does not.
Holy moly. They are just going super aggressive and really synergizing with that Xin Zhao in the early game. Loudermortis just forced to watch his turret go down. They dropped the first one at 4. Can they drop the first one 1 minute later? They are waiting. Vi's trying to do some AoE clear here, and it looks like they're going to push it for now. They may not be able to take it just yet.
All right, so she's going to be able to save that top turret for a little bit more, which is really key for them. Zion on such a roll right now with the roaming Lee Sin. You saw he had that very early ward that he was able to jump to.
Top and bottom lanes just absolutely Zion Spartans right now. And he wastes an Ignite there too. Just great overall play so far by these guys.
That was a really good job because he didn't use much right there. And Chuper, no Ignite. As soon as he hits level 6, he's going to wish he had that for his combo.
Looks like Nintendo Dex won't go for any quick aggression on him. Doesn't want a chance losing the blue buffer. Actually, he doesn't want to turn him away because here comes Bloodwater in range of that Zenith Blade. He's not 6 yet, forced to flash. He is not close to 6, so he's not going to get unstoppable force here. And unfortunately, he is going to go down. Oh, there's the heal. He doesn't. MIA with the beautiful save from the right side. They turn this puppy around, and Bloodwater finds himself in a bad spot. The low mana, however, he feels he can still go in with his health. And here's Mashmi to help them out. They stave off both of those. Nintendo actually going down, however.
Oh my goodness, they were stabbing that rock forever and not able to break it. So close to going down, but good job by Chuper. He didn't have his Ignite, but he has Flash.
That's right. They were able to get a kill for him there. Picks up an assist. Grabs a very much needed chain vest on top of that Doran's defense that he has. Spartan trying to go in on Loudermortis, knowing the exchange won't be there with a low mana bar. But Complexity also knows they need power in numbers. Any lane with a single person in it right now means danger.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the great advantages that we had for GGU, but look at the gold. It's only 200 off. That's barely a difference now.
So 3-1 here, 7 minutes into the game. No more pressure was put onto that top turret. So we'll have to see it now really going to Dragon focus. Loudermortis likes the early Dragon. It could be something that brings Complexity, you know, back into this one or put them on top of GGU with the aggression they're showing right now.
Yeah, Zion Spartan going with the BF sword, very bold buy, and it's a good choice, I think, because he needs to keep making plays. He did a great job so far, but they haven't eked out a lead yet, so he's got to continue. He walked through a ward right there. They're going to see out what he's trying to do right here. Just going to be a defensive Wraith ward.
A lot of defensive quick stacking coming out here. Instead of the health, Shen goes for the vest as well first, instead of saving up for a little bit more HP. No boots on him. No boots on Malphite in mid. These guys are kind of just rushing that D.
Well, you can tell that they talked about it in Champson. Like, they're like, look at this bruiser comp. Yeah, Kobe keeps saying bruiser comp. Lol, lol, lol. Okay, we stack armor. That's exactly what you do against it. Good job, guys. Perfect counter.
Now it's all on you, though, if they go down in flames.
Okay.
So Mashmi in the bottom lane now, trying to stack up that CS, just evening out with this next one, 49-49 against Brunch U. They are getting back into that lane. The swap has been over since the turret was destroyed. And we see Loudermortis here coming in from the
Fat in trouble
backside.
again. No wards?
No wards, no turret. It's going to be a
Missed
2v1 here. Loudermortis coming in. If they can get that red buff proc, he is not going anywhere. There's a really nice rupture. He's going to be forced to use the flash. If he has it, he looks to get to the Tribush wall. There it is, but Loudermortis will chase. The red buff still ticking. And here comes Zion Spartan to save. He can definitely kick one of these guys away. Oh, there's the Loudermortis. He takes him out. Nick Wu gets the taunt. Unstoppable Force is forced to be used for that kill. And Zion Spartan may be able to just trick his way out of this one.
Yeah, nice juke right there, and he was able to pick up the kill. At least they got the Malphite ult out of that for the death. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought Fat was going to go down for free, but they get a kill, and they get the Malphite ult.
But Zion Spartan is helping to make the best out of any
Chuper
bad
now getting
situation
chased.
that they have. Chuber, Zion Spartan on his tail. He picked up the red buff from the last takedown, so he's going to be able to utilize that here in this engagement. It's just going to be too much crowd control, and it looks like Chuper could go down here. Again, he lives with a sliver of health. Once again, call MIA coming in from the side. They turned it around for a kill. It was Nintendo X that went down first here in this one last time. Brunchu trying to get in. Mashmi on the outside, and they refocus perfectly, Kobe, right onto GGU, and they are forced out of the jungle.
So close. Zion Spartan was doing a good job. I said he had to continue making plays. He was making a good one right there, but they barely escaped, and he pays for that with his life.
Zion Spartan about to be back in on this one. The focus from GGU is getting a little bit scattered here. It's going to be scary if they keep doing things like that, and those engagements can go pushing them out each time. Complexity is going to start taking advantages off of those. There'll be small turret takes, and they're going to start gaining a lead.
This is a brawler team, and they're doing exactly that. There's just a melee, and everybody's just fighting constantly. The gold leads are even here, so it's definitely anyone's game right now, and it's going to have to be how they execute that dive comp on the Twitch with the double ultimates.
Well, Kobe, we just hit 10 minutes here into the matchup. Double Kindle gems coming out right away. Actually looks like Fat and Nintendo X kind of copying each other here as the mid lanes and the top mid lane and top lane, Nick Wu and Chuper, are copying each other on their builds, just stacking health as they get into it. The armor first, that's different. That's the first time we've really seen somebody do that, but it looks like it didn't really make much of a
Zion
difference.
again trying to make plays. They go for this early dragon. He's got the parts for Bloodthirster, so he is pure damage right now. Doesn't even have boots for mobility. He's going to use his safeguard and his dashes to get around.
And we really saw this coming out of the Link Jace build as well. It's straight damage from that 80 caster in mid.
Yeah, and that's a good choice too. They need to have some penetration though, because like you said earlier, the armor stacking is kind of obvious here for Complexity. So some kind of shred is going to have to come out of one place or another. Xin Zhao's, his armor penetration is only on the target that he's challenged.
And this actually could show a bit of where those champion pools come into play, because we had Renekton open, I believe, and Fat didn't select that, which would be an awesome composition coming in for, against Complexity's defensive team.
Yeah, I mean, the Bruiser comp, I think, was their plan from the very beginning.
Right.
And they just wanted to troll with the Leona support this time, keep you guessing. But a good job here by Zion Spartan versus this Rock in the middle. He's actually a little bit behind due to all that roaming around in the CS.
Zion could be hit up here in a 2v1. He sees the danger, and Nintendo X kind of waiting off on the wing to help him out. They back off. You see a lot of the pings coming in for Complexity. They saw Leona leave lane. They're saying, be very careful. We don't know what's going on yet. The vision actually quite scarce for both teams from what we saw last game.
Yeah, and we have another 30 seconds left on this Shen ultimate. So really Complexity right now are just trying to stall until they get that back up, because it's such a big tool in these brawler fights that are breaking out all over the map. If they have Shen in their back pocket with an ultimate, then they can turn it right around on the aggressive GGU.
Loudamortis trying to go for a sneaky gank here, but there's a double ward in that top lane. He's going to be all right.
There we go. He learned his lesson.
Lessons that definitely need to be learned, especially in the mid game. That's sometimes the hardest for people to counteract, is when something is happening during the game. And here we go, a few initiation misses there. They get on the right side though. A beautiful ultimate from Chuper. Mashme is a big focus here, and the health bars are dropping for Complexity now as they go 1 for 1. If MIA drops in this, there he goes. It's going to be a 3 for 2 though. Nope, Fat coming in, and it looks like they could chomp down. They do. Vi gets hit up quite hard. Chuper is going to be the next to follow. Nick Wu is trying to do what he can to stave off a bit more damage. It looks like he will be able to walk out if he can dodge the next Rupture or crowd control. No, Nintendo X cuts off his exit. They're going to pop him up. The crowd control is just too much. They are beautifully stacking that consecutively, one on the other, and making sure not to waste them.
That was a great fight for GGU. Even though they were able to execute that combo of the Vault Breaker and the Unstoppable Force I was talking about right on Twitch, get him down very early, Brunch U stayed bottom, so he never entered the fight. They had to use the Shen ultimate also, but it was still 5 versus 4. They're able to come out ahead, and they can just trade that tower that they gave up bottom for this middle turret.
And that is going to be tough for them. Great play coming in from Good Game University. Still holding strong though. Complexity is keeping this from being any sort of a giant deficit, so the game is always within reach for them.
A Locket of the Iron Solari finished. I'm really glad that they rushed it, but you need to just keep it at 1. The next guy needs to go with that Aegis. Please, please. Please, please, please.
We're saying Aegis all day. There haven't been enough purchases. Maybe we need to put a sale on him or something.
Yeah, there we go.
They got the Giant Spell coming in for Cho'Gath in the top lane, so Fat trying to get just that. Nintendo taking a shard as he's pushed off of the turret. He dives in, throws down the ultimate. Really just a deterrent there. He has no mana. He's got to be careful if he gets stunned up here.
They leave it at 1 hit. Is a minion going to finish it? No, it's not going to finish. So that global gold's going to be, that's all they really need. I mean, they can't defend this turret as a real defensive position, but at least the global gold is not going to be in hands of Complexity for their next buys, and they don't get to use it yet.
Well, the pockets are pretty empty right now for all of Complexity. It looks like they've recently bought, so that gold really wouldn't shove them over into an item purchase time. I don't know what word I want.
With Shen top without his ultimate, he's just keeping the minions basically at his turret right now. He doesn't want to push out too far. You can see he's not trying to shove it, just trying to last hit those ones and make all of the minions for GGU being wasted on a turret.
So we have 2 minutes for the Dragon. We'll see everybody start to clear up their jungles and probably head over to that area. This will be pretty important for these teams to grab that 14 minutes in.
Don't Mash Me gonna go back and purchase right now, but we have Zion again in the mid. He's ready to go. He finally got his level 1 boots plus Bloodthirster. That's all you need. Pure damage Lee Sin. Looking for the assassinations. Can he hit those Qs through people? He did such a good job in the opening of the game. We'll have to see how he plays out in team fights.
You know, whether they mean it or not, I got to give props to every team this week for making these games super awesome and interesting. The first game was 26 minutes before we got first blood, but we looked down at the CS at 15 minutes into the game and one person is over 100, which means they have been fighting pretty much all game.
Yeah, and Brunch Wu, you can tell. I mean, Brunch you, I love that combo, by the way, that team. I'm just going to keep doing that. He's been farming down there in that bottom lane. Like I said, he didn't join that last fight, but he was rewarded with all those extra minion kills. This is a nice bush gank right here.
Oh,
laying the trap.
Just waiting on the outside. But it seems like they're trying to pull in the same thing as well. They're like, somebody come and farm this. It looks like a great wave, right? Nobody actually wants this. The ward goes down in the bush from Nintendo, and they're completely aware.
Yeah, good job by them. Oh, the safeguard away from Zion looking spicy. And they're going to be able to walk away from that one. Don't Mash Me now getting his turn to farm that bottom lane, though.
Zion Spartan looks to be roaming by himself. Pretty scary spot. He does have the exit capabilities. It looks like he's just trying to grab every advantage, every bit of vision they can. We have seen good initiations come from Zion Spartan. You said it before. He is completely threading the needle with those sonic waves. So we'll have to see if he can do it one more time to start off the fight with his team. And that dive buddy's in.
It looks like Complexity are ready for round 2. They've completed 2 Sunfire Capes, which are perfect against Bruiser comps because there's so many melee on GGU that if they're just sitting in there, the Sunfire Capes are slowly going to burn the entire team down, and they give you a bunch of tankiness, both the armor and the health that you need to survive.
Looks like GGU now, as they did, clear out their jungle. The Dragon is up.
Shen ult is up too. Here we go.
Grab this. Shen is in the top lane. There it is, going on to Trooper. But Trooper doesn't have anything to Unstoppable Force here. They all spread perfectly, but GGU may have outpositioned themselves trying to spread out from that Unstoppable Force. Their health bars are completely dropping. A beautiful job, Brunch on the outside, just completely squishing them down. The team finishing off the kills, and Complexity fights that one beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the plan all along. You can tell he's just saving that combo for when Twitch comes out. As soon as it comes out, just blow him up right there. The dive comp easily taking out this 4 Bruiser plus Twitch.
Yeah, it was a great job by Trooper. So much patience, and I was like, GGU did a great job at spreading out, but really they outpositioned themselves in that fight.
Yeah, it was a little bit just hard to watch. The 2 Sunfire Capes too, those are going to do a great job of just keeping you in that fight and slowly wearing down everybody while you wait for the Twitch to appear.
Yep. Looks like the Infinity Edge being finished on that Twitch in just a few more gold. Actually, he probably do it in 300 gold, it says. So he will be looking to do that as he farms his top lane. That should be just enough. So a huge surge of power to come in for Good Game University. Great job by Complexity, really pulling this one back into their favor. Now 2,000 gold in the lead, 2 kills in the lead, as they've also evened up the turrets.
Yeah, I mean, plus the Taric maxed aura right now is giving so much armor to all of the team. It's going to be really hard. Don't Mash Me has to build some penetration after that Infinity Edge as well.
Yep.
So his crits are actually going to be sticking. I mean, it's going to be a while before this team is going to be able to do a lot of damage. It looks like Complexity definitely has the upper hand, especially if they're able to get full team fights. So GGU are going to have to be looking for picks right now. They don't want to go and fight this dive combo that's just going to annihilate their Twitch.
We'll just see, always a pink ward going in for Bloodwater here. Actually, I should say for MIA, there should always be a pink ward, but we can see that both Ludamortis and Nick Wu have those.
There they go,
You
trying to
need
catch.
it for Don't Mash Me on Twitch. A good Q out by Ludamortis as they run this one out. Spartan's like, I want that red buff.
They would still want to fight. They're still in the same mentality because they have
Yeah.
all those bruisers and they want to keep brawling. But like I said, you have to catch somebody off guard because the full 5-on-5, we saw what happened last time.
Well, the boots of mobility now coming out onto Taric. Looks like he's trying to get those initiations in from that back line position. We saw, actually it was, who was saying they were dying? Afro that's right. He was playing Tarek, and he's like, I fed that game. And we're like, dude, you fed, but your team got 3 kills every time you died. And it was perfect with today's intro that everybody's saying that they would just jump in front of somebody if they needed to, and then you have Nijaki like, I want to go to whatever, my hometown. I want to pad my stats.
Yeah, everybody.
So
it's interesting how keeping track of those KDAs has changed everybody's game a little. I mean, I'm a cutie pie. Straight up said, all I care about is my KDA. I need to get those kills. And we saw at the end of one of those games, he was letting Patoy kite it around, only turned around when he could land that last hit for the kill.
So 20 minutes, we see a little bit of Baron action as both teams are getting those oracles out now. We are going to be able to get some objective clearing. Complexity trying to gain some ground with positioning as they make their way through yet. Okay, he did see it. I was going to say that oracle's not working too well for him. And they're going to clear this last one out.
You have to use your eyes, too. I mean, I don't want to make a joke right now, but you guys get what we would go for.
Look, did you hear that? Exactly. So we have 10-8 still. Nothing has happened on that kill score as both teams just backing off, clearing out. Another ward found up, kind of getting a return on investment for his oracles now.
Yeah, I mean, they're so far ahead, and they know that they can win these team fights. You can tell they're super confident because they went for that Oracle, easily cleared out all the vision, and they can just wait for anything that they want right now because they aren't scared of GGU. They're just going to have to wait because, look, Twitch is not even going for armor penetration after this. He's going for attack speed and crit first, and they all have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 people over 100 armor already.
That's going to be pretty good for that next fight.
There we go. Another Oracles. Bloodwater going to fight back.
Oh my
GGU are not giving up. I'm glad they're going to go take back this vision of the Baron. They don't want to play that game of hide and seek because you're always the loser if you're seeking in League of Legends.
Yeah, that's not what's going to work. That half a second the team has to initiate on you just lets you realize that League of Legends is a game of half seconds. Coming into the jungle, it looks like Complexity getting a bit more aggressive here. That sureness you were talking about, Kobe, as they move in for the Baron. No vision there. What is going on with GGU right now?
They just killed that last ward in the little bit of brush, so they're aware that Complexity in the area. They can't see the life of Baron, and it looks like they don't even have to face check it. They'll be okay for another 30, 40 seconds till this top turret goes down.
I really like this. They started to do Baron. They said top is pushing. They'll probably be halfway through the jungle. They won't have any way to protect this top turret. Great mind games by Complexity.
Yeah, all they really have to do is stick as 5. If Complexity are roaming as 5 and they go and take these objectives, they force GGU to react to them on the map, and they're just going to play right into Complexity's hands. You can see them right now waiting behind these trees. Who will be the first to face check?
That fog of war cover, just trying to play some games right now.
Here
You
it
can
comes.
see it. They can't
It'll
see
be
him.
Nintendo.
Dude. Oh, it's going to be the Dazzle in. He is going to get crowd controlled down to death. Fat gets it next. He actually takes the assault and battery, and they're going to completely dive onto Don't Mash Me. Trooper quite hurt. He goes down to Mash Me. The cleanse is off. He's not kiting enough, though. Good damage coming in. He's kiting just enough, though, and they are able to take down the kill there. Lotta Morris and Brunchy on the outside of this, and GGU says, let's push with them behind us.
Overconfident. That's what happens when you don't use it on the Twitch. They weren't able to take out the Twitch early, and another fight breaks out.
Oh, it looks like Fat, he does not have his feast up, so he's only going to be able to put out the DPS from the auto attacks here and a few abilities, but the rest of the team comes in to help clean it out, and Complexity finds himself standing on some wards that are going to cost them their life. A flash from the extended fight now on Lauda Mortis. Zion Spartan beautifully hitting Qs all game. The Rupture to finish it off, and an extended ace coming in.
See, everyone was so confident. I was really confident in their team fighting ability too.
Oh dear.
But they weren't able to blow up that Twitch, and GGU just played that really well. They didn't make any stupid mistakes. They didn't rush into the blind Baron. They haven't given up. Look at the lifesteal on Zion Spartan. He's able to tank this Baron for the rest of the team, so they're rushing it down.
Oh, that does not have, it has a lot of health, I mean to say. They don't have much health. Unstoppable Force is going to be down, but Trooper wants to go in with Shen right here. This is not going to be good for GGU. They're going to be tanking this Baron unless coL tries to get in close on it, and the Baron is pretty much wiping them out right now. It has gone over to GGU, but they lose most of their members in the attempt.
So at least they had intended over there to grab that Baron. They lose everyone's lives, so the next global objective is going to Complexity. They can either grab this dragon right now or push another turret down. It's really their choice.
That is intense, Kobe. 25 minutes as we come into this match. 15-14. 36,000 gold to 36,700 gold. It's so close right now.
Like I said, it's the execution of that combo. They have to kill Don't Mash Me. He's starting to get that crit to stack with his Infinity Edge, so he's feeling nice. Maybe you don't need that armor penetration I was building up so much.
Guess not.
It worked fine in that last fight.
And a huge ups to Zion Spartan, keeping him alive for the bit of that fight that really helped when he was kiting out to the mid lane. And really just great play overall. GGU synchronizing in these fights. Complexity had such good positioning and such a great idea after that turret take to kind of head back in and put pressure on, but they just found themselves caught out.
Yeah, all eyes are going to be on Don't Mash Me and where Loudamortis and Chuper are during the fight. Brunchu going to grab up this red. That's so good on Ezreal because his Mystic Shot does apply the red buff.
So they gave Don't Mash Me Twitch, and that's starting to come to its full power. And he is really wreaking havoc for these guys. He's only 1, 3, and 5, but being able to stay in the back lane with the focus that Complexity is putting on, Zion Spartan or trying to get to Mash Me is enough for him to really deal the damage he needs.
Yeah, this game is so close. It is going to be the execution in the team fight. So we really just have to wait and see how it plays out. Those knockbacks are actually working for them pretty well.
So let's take a look at some of the items coming in. Again, the double locket. They love it. We've got to question this over an Aegis.
Well, they do have an Aegis, see. So at least they got one of those too.
Well, they continue to do it. First time
that
they've actually done that. But the Randuin's coming out, both for the top lanes, shutting down all the auto attackers, trying to keep that fight inside the box. GGU now clearing out some siege here, coming down from Complexity. There's the wards, pink wards everywhere. They said, yeah, we bought 1 Oracles. It's time to just throw all the money towards the pink wards.
I like that he actually picked up a Thorn Mail. Chuper did on Malphite here. Because usually, that item's not bought too much, but there's so much auto attack damage from GGU with the Jhin, with the Twitch, and with the Lee Sin that it's a pretty good buy, and it's going to be doing a good amount of damage back.
Slowly right now, Complexity somewhat, oh no, as they start to move down, Tarek comes back. I was going to say they're out of position for this push. As we saw Trooper trying to grab his blue, they may have lost the turret off of that one, but it looks like they just want to pressure the top lane, seeing Nick Wu in the bottom. They know he can teleport in. It's going to take him a bit.
Yeah, they do have the Shen ultimate up now, so they can keep him down there split pushing because they have the vision of the entire GGU team, and they really just want to delay because the Baron, once the Baron buff runs out, then they'll be confident again. Right now, with Nintendude having that extra Baron buff, it's going to be a little bit more dangerous.
Looks like they're going to try to put no pressure on the turret here. That wave gets cleared out a little faster than they thought. They're held at bay for now, and Nick Wu is definitely making some ground in this bottom lane with the way it's happening. Definitely grabbing the upper hand for Complexity.
Time is definitely working against GGU right now. As you can see, they all are starting to retreat, and the Oracle's right there going to do some work. Nick Wu not going to be able to take this. I hate making those calls.
You have the caster minions and the siege, so you're doing a good bit of damage. But the siege is going to get taken down, so it looks like he's going to make it there in time to stop this one. And we're both wrong. Good thing we cast League of Legends.
He gets kicked in the back for it, though. He's like, you took my turret. I'm going to kick you in the head.
And it looks like he is going to try to ult out of this one. The kick's down, and he gets himself out.
Kicked him in the head, but it was a little too early. That was Nick Wu's only escape. Kind of a misplay right there. He was like us. He was like, he's not going to be able to take this turret. He's not going to be able to take this turret. Oh, he just barely did.
He took the turret, proving us wrong. Coming out with those key strikes.
So Vi now also stacking health. I like the ancient golem aspect. A lot of people on Vi will go with that Lizard Elder upgrade from the Spirit Stone. But he's just going more defensive since it is such a brawly team here.
Interesting pick for Brunch coming in. He actually builds the Bloodthirster into the Zeal, and then he grabs a Phage halfway through.
Okay, we have a Last Whisper, the first on GGU's team, actually picked up by Zion Spartan, who has been doing massive amounts of work.
All the tons of damage. He does have that Warmox as well, so he can get himself and really be somewhat of an initiator for these guys. Lee Sin just diving in. He has been hitting all of his Qs, so he's got the mark that he wants. It's usually on to Brunch. We've seen him do it a few times now. Brunch has gone down twice, so that makes sense. 7, 2, and 8, though. Trooper in mid, playing very well for his team. That is countered by a 5, 4, and 8 mid, which is a very stacked Zion Spartan, though, and I think it brings a little bit more utility at this point than Malphite does in the fight.
Yeah, Brunch's going to be able to farm up this bottom lane. He's got the fully stacked Bloodthirster already, and Dragon is coming up in another minute and 45 seconds right here, so we should get some action around that. There's no vision from GGU, so they won't know, but they are ready to fight as well. Don't Mash Me very far out of position right now, and Complexity pushing very strong towards this middle turret.
Well, if they keep all vision onto Complexity, then he can push as much as he wants. He's definitely going to grab this top turret. His wave is right up there, and there's the initiation from Trooper going in. The rest of the team, a great True Shot barrage, but it didn't seem to do too much. Can Zion Spartan make it out with the shield and Ignite tick on? He does. Bloodwater taking one last Mystic Shot. Brunch can't get in range there, but it looks like they will be able to grab this turret. Mash Me is actually backing top lane instead of taking the turret to help his team here.
They already used the Unstoppable Force. That's one part of the combo gone for Complexity right now. It's going to return to a 5-on-5, but a huge tool is down for them.
I thought they were going to try to initiate in with Mash Me there. I just saw in my eyes Nintendo Dex diving in, but Mash Me took a little too long off the fountain. They're trying to back now and see if they can find anybody, kind of delay that backing time, but really not too much can come out of this without the full 5 yet.
And you can tell with everyone building that health stacking, they dove the turret, but they weren't able to finish anyone off. They almost were able to grab one, but not quite. And it's because nobody has been building that much damage except for Brunch.
It's really going to be a test of the extended fight now, as like you said, that health is getting up there. It's going to be a few times through the spells, through the kits of each champion, and we're going to see how they reposition after the fight engages. It's really going to be all about good focus. They've been all over Brunch, but Complexity has been all over Mash Me as well, so they're doing a great job in the beginning of these fights.
During that split push, they lost the middle turret, but that gave Don't Mash Me the goal to grab his last Whisper. He now has that amazing combo of the Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer last Whisper that is just basically unstoppable for Twitch. You have to kill that Twitch to get him to stop from just destroying your team, and so Complexity knows they can't fight without that double combo. They have to get that Twitch down. All eyes are going to be on him in the next team fight, and that's going to be the deciding factor. This Baron is up right now, and it's going to be highly contested.
They're exactly right, Kobe. They know they need to keep Mash Me alive. It's good to have that focus. We'll definitely keep an eye on him in the beginning of the fight and how much Complexity, how much respect they put on that Twitch right now. We've said before, you know, Mash Me was very disgruntled in that loss that they almost won down to the Nexuses in that game because he has only lost with Twitch a handful of times in both competitive play and solo queue. So right now, he is fully in his comfort zone, probably sitting on a throne.
Can they burn this Baron down quick enough? They have great percentage damage, but it doesn't look like Twitch is going to be able to get there first. He's going to be the first arrival, and he has to be careful. Shen uses his ultimate. This is going to be a Baroned up team that they're going in to fight.
Oh man, here's Complexity. They have grabbed an edge in this game, a 3,000 gold lead as they enter the fight. How is it going to happen? Where is Don't Mash Me? And it looks like he's back. They're doing so much damage, it gets taken out by True Shot Barrage. The damage is not going to be there. Zion Spartan forced out defensively. Safeguards over to the blue buff. And it looks like, or he Qs over the blue buff, I should say, and it looks like they're going to be able to pick up the double kill for Brunch. He's completely out of mana, but they are on a full force push down middle.
Great job by Lattimortis. He went so deep with that Vault Breaker and ultimate combo that he was off the screen with Don't Mash Me. Nice job to follow up with that Unstoppable Force. They executed the combo perfectly this time, so they don't have another fiasco, and they are going to get the inhibitor.
This is 25 seconds. That bottom lane is still super pushed from what Nick Wu was doing earlier, and these guys are completely setting themselves up for victory, possibly their first one. It's going to be Bloodwater, Zion, and Fat trying to push them back here. A 4v3 under the turret, and that turret is going to act as just what they needed to stop it.
Yeah, okay, so they're going to back off. Chuper's down. They do have Don't Mash Me coming back up, so they don't want to get caught out by the Twitch. Twitch can still go invisible and sneak around. They can get some vision here. MIA's got an Oracle's though, so he's going to have to be careful. It looks like they're content with grabbing the red buff as well as the dragon. They can recall and come push again with this Baron buff before it runs out if they buy quickly.
Good game, University. Really finding themselves on their heels now. The inhibitor is down. They haven't been able to see the likes of a Baron to their full team yet. They lost 3 or 4 on the first initial take. Complexity grabbing the next Baron and increasing that gold lead. Now 5,500, 2 kills in the lead, 2 turrets in the lead at 34 minutes. Complexity has taken control of this game.
So the story now is that Don't Mash Me had to burn his cleanse and his flash in that last fight.
Right.
And the ultimates on Mortis and Chuper are up so quickly that they can fight again before he even has a flash now. So he's going to be even more of an easy target, and it's going to be really difficult for them to defend the Twitch at this point.
Good push coming into the mid lane as they're just trying to clear all of these out and really be at where complexity is. They are dictating this game. Whatever lane they're in is where GGU is gonna have to go and probably send the majority of their team, which means they're strung out thin now, Kobe, and the initiations aren't gonna be as good right off the bat.
Yeah, Complexity are sitting pretty right now because not only do they have the upper hand once again, but they have the Shen on their team. So it's the obvious split push. They can just wait and have him push that top lane while they're sieging up this bottom turret.
All the distraction. Gentleman Cho'Gath being a gentleman, trying to throw out some ruptures and just give some friendly hugs. This call, just Complexity sitting on the outside of this turret. It's just really going to be a stall right now. They're waiting for Shen.
They really don't want to dive in because they were confident, like I was last time in the mid game of their team fight, and they actually lost it when they weren't able to execute that Twitch. So they don't want that to happen again. They're going to take it slow here. They don't have to rush, and they want to just execute this Shen split push pretty easily. Someone's going to have to go up there to defend him.
Have to. You have super minions coming in on mid. Oh, Brunch, you getting caught up in a rupture. Why do they not choose to go in on this? A great dazzle there actually stopped Fat from throwing out the scream, so nobody was silenced. I think that actually stopped all of it. Great dazzle by MIA. They keep themselves safe here. That top lane now has to pull Zion Spartan in.
It's a good job to send Zion up there because, like we saw last time, if Zion actually saves his kick, he'll be able to interrupt the ultimate. He just has to not blow that too early.
One more time. If they can get back in there. You see the poke coming from Brunch. There's the rupture again, but nothing coming from it. Fat's actually just kind of blowing his mana bar out here. He's got enough for a few more of those ruptures, obviously, at this point, but they got to be careful because, like we said, these fights are going to go on and on and on. They need to be careful of the health. Good damage coming in. Still more siege. Shen in the top lane. They cannot do much here. It's Zion Spartan is actually just farming mid right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're slowly poking down this turret. One more. Every time he shoots off... Oh, there's the engage.
The initiation coming out. The solar flare on the True Shot Barrage, hitting a good amount and doing the damages. Here comes Shen coming into the fight onto Mortis. We're going to see if this works for them. Bloodwater taking a bit of damage. It could be a final push for Complexity here. Nintendo is the focus for them, but the health bars have kind of stopped moving. Brunch is really losing a bit here as they were tanking the turret. They find the repositioning. No, it's going to be Zion Spartan and Nintendo kind of turning this one around. They stood in the turret for a bit too long, and it looks like it may leave GGU with enough up to just defend the base long enough, and they could get a kill here. 2 turret shots coming out on Nick Wu. The shield was just enough. The heal coming in from MIA as well, and that was just an inhibitor, but that was a hectic one.
Thank goodness Nick Wu had Feint right there. That just barely saved his life. Oh, they finally took down that Twitch, but it took too long. They weren't able to get anything else out of that.
Yeah.
The minions did more work than they did on the turret. The minions on top actually got it so low that they can take that, they can even backdoor that turret.
All of that just for the inhibitor, and they weren't able to come up with it. They want, it's been since the beginning. We see how low the minion kills are. Yeah, our 80 carries have gotten themselves up there, and Lee Sin found some, or Zion Spartan found some, but just coming into that fight, neither team was able to do anything with the amount of health they had, and they just kind of walked past the turret. They're going for the kills, getting those stats. They said, screw the turret. We want to kill these guys.
There were a couple things, too. Like, Shen used his ultimate to get into the fight on Mortis.
Right.
Instead of using it to get into the fight with just casting it on Brunch. So when Brunch went down, a lot of their DPS went out the window, and it kind of came out in an even draw right there. Not too much lost by GGU. They're still able to barely keep those turrets standing.
And we see now GGU coming in with all the double stacking of team fight synergy. Double Bulwark coming out, double Locket coming out.
Triple Lockets for GGU.
Triple Locket, yes, I actually did see it on Leona. So we have the triple Locket coming out there. It also looks like she's trying to throw into an Aegis for herself as well.
I like the triple Bulwark as well. They're just going to go these items on everybody. We're just going to all buy defensive items.
So if we're not buying any today.
Triple Bulwarks, they're making up for the lack of Bulwarks in all the other games.
Right, exactly.
Triple Bulwarks don't stack like double do. I mean, everyone who's got that Bulwark is going to have a double. So at least he'll get a little bit extra benefit out of that. And they're just plenty of auras. You can stand anywhere, near pretty much anyone on your team, and you'll get that aura.
Super good. Buying all the bulwarks for everyone. Good guys, good game. Blue buff going over to Brunch U there as they position again. 3 seconds, and we're going to see Baron Nashor make an entrance onto Summoner's Rift. Once again, he pops out of the ground. That'd be great. They need to add that.
Sneaky little ward over there. They do catch it out, but they're definitely not going to be able to get into position in time for this one. And another Baroned up Complexity coming, ready to roll. They need to use their combo wisely. I have to say, every time they don't use the combo wisely and they let Twitch live a little bit too long, they pay for it. So, all eyes once again, Loud and Mortis, you have to use that Assault and Battery on Twitch, please. Chuper, use your Unstoppable Force also on Twitch. And then it should be a pretty easy win for them. They're actually going to buy even. They're playing this so slow because they're still scared of that ultimate.
That's been the story of the week. Every team has said, we don't want to chance this. We're taking it slow. And really, it's kind of like they just turned that on between week 2 and week 3 because it's even, you know, being taken in by what are considered the bottom 4 teams who are really not anymore.
Yeah, and look at Don't Mash Me getting that Banshee's Veil. It's going to help him a lot with the combo because you have to poke off the Veil before you can pull the combo off. So it's basically the best defensive item that he could get in this situation. And it's just going to cause a lot more trouble for them.
The second time we see this coming out this week is going to be Blade of the Ruin King coming out onto Lee Sin. 19-17 is the score at 40 minutes onto this one. It's actually kind of a good gold lead coming in here. They are looking at 6,000. That's the biggest it's been at this point. But we'll see what they can do it as they push into this base. Coming on through the inhibitor, we're going to see can do the damage. They're not going to look to push without this minion wave in. They are kind of pushing it in here. This will be the next super wave for them, and we'll have to see.
Okay, so we even have a Zanya's Hourglass on that Malphite. I really like that pickup. He also got some penetration. Oh, look at this duel up top.
Wow, Zion Spartan taking some damage. Assault and Battery goes down. It looks like he's actually going to dive into the fight. He finishes off his Q, and the team is going to look here to pressure. Brunch U getting taken out towards the top side. Shen'El could save him there, but they dive in way too hard. It's going to be a Baroned up Complexity trying to push their way through this fight. Nintendo is being forced back into the base. Bloodwater and Fat. Fat so tanky right now, but he is surrounded by a team of Complexity, and that is not what you want right now. It looks like he's going to be going down here. Complexity taking over full control of the base here, Kobe, and it doesn't look good for GGU.
Brunch U died for the cause there. Good job. He was able to get the Banshee's Veil off before he went down. And even though Vi had already used her Assault and Battery, Chuper still had his Unstoppable Force, and they were able to kill the Twitch, cleaning up everyone, and that is going to be the next
Kobe crushing down the game. A week of firsts. A lot in week 3 of the LCS, and Complexity looks to pick up their first win for themselves as well here in week 3.
All right, everybody turning it around. There's going to be a lot of smiling faces. Also, a few of the teams that expected to crush these people with no wins.
Yep.
They had that turned right around on them.
Not this time, buddy. Everybody coming in doing a lot of homework. Nick Wu and Loud and Mortis there. Chuper. You see Brunch U and MIA still sitting. These guys absolutely ecstatic. You see the smile, Chuper there checking the stats, checking what was going down, how much gold were we up, what was going on, and you can see him now heading over to shake hands.
They didn't get to finish that third bulwark. I'm kind of sad. I wanted to see the triple locket, triple bulwark builds.
The bulwark cubed.
They couldn't think of any other items to build? I mean, come on, guys. It's League of Warmogs, right?
Yeah,
Throw a couple Warmogs
It
in there.
was a lot. It has been the League of Warmogs, but we just saw League of Bulwark and Locket of the Iron Solari. It's been Locket all week. We saw the most amount of Bulwarks in this game right here combined in the week, but it wasn't enough to keep them in that, even though they stacked up. Great job. Nick Wu, 9-2 and 13 on Shen, 8-3 and 14 on Malphite. You do not see the Bruisers with that many kills usually.
We called the brawling aspect of this game with the very aggressive junglers, and they did not disappoint. Starting off from that very early invade from Nintendo, it was a non-stop fight, and I was really excited.
It was absolutely amazing. Everyone, after the break, we'll talk to Nick Wu from Complexity, and then we'll see where our teams stand at the end of the week. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're joined right now by Nick Wu from Complexity. Congratulations on the first win. What'd you guys do differently to come into this week and just say, let's pound out a W here?
Well, we did practice a lot. We got a drawing board. We wrote up our strats, bans, picks. We really brushed up on our teams. And it pulled out a victory for us against GGU.
Nice. Very good.
So you guys are definitely good at playing around with names. We see the MIA. Who actually came up with that?
I think Lotta Mortis came up with the MIA joke. I'm pretty sure. He's always making fun of Abe about his missing eye, or his prosthetic eye.
I was calling Brunch U, Brunch Woo all game. Have you guys ever done that one too? Your namesake?
I haven't done Brunch Woo. We've done like Wooper, Chuper and Nick Woo. That's all the ones I could really think of. I know we've done more, but I just can't think of them right now.
So coming into that game, we noticed about 16 minutes. I think somebody on your team, I think it was mid, had over 100 CS. But other than that, you guys were all behind. How did it feel to go into a pretty much all-fight game? Did you guys feel weird about that, or were you just rolling with the flow?
No, I didn't particularly feel weird about that. I mean, I love to brawl. Like, if I had it my way, we'd probably just be playing like an arena. No creeps,
Right on.
just going in.
Yeah.
Very
Seeing
cool.
their team comp, did you guys expect that? You're like, they're going to come gang you off and they're going to always want.
Yeah, they had like an aggressive Lee middle. They had Leona. They had some diving characters. They didn't really have much like super hard initiate though, but we knew we were gonna scrap a bit. So yeah.
Something I like to ask everybody, and usually the answer we get is, yeah, it's just what we wanted to play. Were these comfort picks for you guys, or were you trying to counter them with strats coming in?
I think a lot were just there were some comfort picks. They kind of banned me out, Zed, Jace. That's kind of my thing. But they didn't know how to pocket Shen. And Lot's really good on Vi. I think we just played just relatively good, kind of safe, kind of like pretty comfortable, and it got us a victory.
Yeah, that victory for you guys, and also your brother got his first victory.
Yeah, Team Mark.
What are you guys gonna do? I asked everybody, what are they gonna do to celebrate? Because everyone's has something to celebrate this week.
I definitely want to go out and have some fun before Super Week. I'd have to go talk to Clark about that and the team. So I don't know what we're going to do yet, but definitely something other than League right now.
So you guys came from behind. You were about 4,000 gold down and then found your way up. What was the mentality? What were you guys shouting and screaming when you saw that you were walking into that Baron and they had all such low health?
We were just thinking, like, this is free. We can take it. We can kill him here. That was our mentality going in there. But for the entirety of the game, the mentality was just like kill Twitch and Lee. And that's it. We got it. We're going to win after that.
Over and over.
Yeah, I kept saying you guys had such a good combo for it with the Vi and the Malphite.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you landed it, you were like, he's dead.
Yeah. And then once he was gone, once he was down, he was kind of like, oh, we'll just get whoever's close now, because nobody else was doing damage after that.
Did you notice their triple bulwark and triple locket strategy, and did that crack you guys up?
No, actually, I wasn't. I probably should pay attention more to the items. I didn't actually catch that they had a triple locket or bulwark. I was just focusing on what I had, and I was just kind of like splitting in the entire game, so I didn't really pay attention to that. But it's kind of funny, I guess.
Well, that's how you get the win, man. You keep focused, you keep it in there. Congratulations to Complexity for the first win, and in the rest of the LCS. Now, a great game, a great week of firsts. We've had amazing wins coming in. Vulcan going 3-0, but we're going to take a look at the last matchup. Let's go over to Jat with some of the key plays from today.
Thanks, guys. And I want to first highlight a clip from the last game we actually had. When Complexity was down in gold, GGU all grouped up around the Dragon. And if we can roll this clip, I'll walk you guys through it. So they come in with the Shen ult. Chuper walks in, and he's so patient. If we can pause it here, you can see that Don't Mash Me just opened up on Twitch. Chuper and Lotta Mortis have saved their ultimates for this moment because the only thing that matters for them is getting on Twitch. So if we can roll this at half speed, you'll see just how decimated Don't Mash Me gets. As soon as he flashes away a little bit early, Lotta Mortis, Assault and Battery, Chuper, Unstoppable Force, and they're about to explode Don't Mash Me. And then the big thing here, they all group up to try to save Twitch, and they just get destroyed by the ground slam from Chuper, and from here they just completely get mopped up, and this was really the turning point of the game. The rest of the game, it was all about them just chasing down and finishing off Don't Mash Me. That was the way almost every team fight tried to play out. In our previous matchup, though, Vulcan, the surprise team that went 3-0 this week, this was kind of the play that had so many highlights in it that it's going to be all over top 5 plays. And I wanted to show this clip in particular because they were already in control, but it just showed how well Vulcan was team fighting and how well they were playing as a team this week. So if we can roll this clip actually right now, you can see they catch him out with a stun. If we pause it right here, Heartbeat just got hit by a light binding, by the cocoon of Elise, and because of that, everyone on Marn wants to counter-initiate in here, but they're going to start the fight without Heartbeat because all of the damage spikes down on him almost immediately. If we can roll this at half speed. So you can see Psycho Sid goes in with the Lux ultimate, and then from here, it's just crisp team fighting from Vulcan. The main threat from Marn is out of the battle right now. Claky D sees an opportunity to get Psycho Sid, and Psycho Sid over in the top corner here flashes away right as Claky D would put the killing blow on him. Mega Zero's in the middle of everyone, but it's just not enough. Their AD carry and Heartbeat was dead at the start of the battle, so they really weren't able to take anything out. And this part is going to be really cool. If we can roll it at full speed for a second, you actually get the comeback from ManCloud. It looks like Marn might make it out with a sliver of health, but the laser, the final spark from Lux, destroys them, and then the Mystic Shot from Ezreal. So that play was just full of so many awesome things. They went on to win the game after that one. Vulcan went 3-0. It was a tremendous accomplishment from them, and honestly, this was one of the best weeks I've ever personally seen in the LCS. I know we're only 3 weeks in, but it was awesome. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, chat. It's been an eventful 3 weeks. Here's where the teams currently stand. Ladies and gentlemen, you still have Curse, the only team in the NA or EU LCS, to be 6-0. Dignitas at 5-2. Team Solo Mid is 4-2. Counter Logic Gaming now even at 3-3. Vulcan at 3-5 with 3 wins this week. Complexity finding their first win along with Marn at 1-3 both. And GGU 1-6. And for helping his team sweep the entire week, we've picked Xsmithy from Vulcan as our MVP.
I mean, we had Zuna getting super fed and Mandatory Cloud also getting super fed and carrying that game. But Smithy, it was really due to his play right there. And you could see that they had such a nice strategy with him ganking specifically the AD carry lanes over and over. And we haven't really seen that focused of a strategy from someone else.
And he really initiated team fights well. I remember a few times he would catch, the Alistar or whatever they were playing against during their gap closer and completely negate things like that.
Yeah, especially on that Hecarim. He's a beast.
It's so crazy. Guys, the LCS continues on Saturday in Cologne, Germany. First up, the 2-1 Fnatic takes on the winless Copenhagen Wolves. Then, one of the most anticipated rematch of the season, Gambit's out for revenge from the first week's upset they received at the hands of Giants.
And after that, we have Against All Authority looking to get their first win over the Copenhagen Wolves. And finally, the top-ranked Evil Geniuses get to have their first match with Fnatic.
It all starts Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. Central European Time. And I hope you guys are ready because we're back next week with a whole heaping spoonful of 12 matches for Super Wednesday. Starting at 11 a.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Central European Time, it's a very big rematch between Counter Logic Gaming and Vulcan.
And next, Curse looks to stay on top against Mega Zero and the rest of Marn. Then after a week off, TSM returns. They're going to have to take on Complexity, and they'll be coming in fresh from their first victory, so going to have to look out.
And finally, after a win this week, GGU looks to come back and steal a game from Counter Logic. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Call in sick, stock up on snacks, and turn off your phone. It's going to be a great day, or we should say week, because we'll be here with even more action on Thursday and Friday. I'm Riv, and on behalf of Kobe24, Jat, and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching. Focus outside the map. Brunch is getting his shots off, and he's able to shred down the team. Shot here, he shards, trying to get the movement speed, and the poison's going to take him down.
Hit him. Always can. You guys can end the game. Or worse. That wasn't as bad as this one.
Yeah, boy!
Okay, end it. Walk up.
Let's end this! This is us!
Come here.
3, 2, 1!